So we all love the sounds that the 1996 stock makes. The 465-9s and some other trains built around the same time. And of course, the epic wewewewe sound. But what exactly are these sounds? And why do only some trains make these noises? It's all down to the electronics in their motors. Alright, let's go down to the basics. What ways can we make trains move? We can make steam from heated water, which is loud and not super easy to control. Still sounds cool though. We can burn diesel, but this isn't great for the environment. Or we can use electricity by burning diesel to make steam somewhere we don't like. Or anything that spins, really. Anyway, to understand motors, we need to understand basic electricity, meaning we need to understand generators, meaning we need to understand magnets. Yeah, this video is going to be long. Alright, so magnets make fields. No, not those. Magnetic fields. Yeah, flowing electricity also makes these magnetic fields. And as it turns out, they can interact with each other. So we can move magnets to make electricity, or use electricity to move magnets. Neat. So basically, if we spin a magnet, we can make electricity, and use that electricity to spin a magnet somewhere else. See where I'm going with this? Electricity is when electrons move. They can either all go the same way, or they can switch directions. When we generate electricity, it's an AC. We can convert this to DC pretty easily with diodes. These let current through one way, but not the other. Which gives us something like this. We can fix this using capacitors, which smooth out the current, but now we got DC. For a while we needed DC to run our motors, as you kind of need to be able to change the speed of them. And with DC, it's pretty easy to do this by just adding a few resistors and bringing them into and out of the circuit when we need different amounts of power. You can actually hear this on older trains like the 1972 stock on the Bakerloo line. However, the motors are kind of inefficient, as resistors make a lot of heat, and DC motors need a lot of maintenance, but the only other way to do this would be to be able to change the frequency of AC current, and it's kind of hard to change the speed of a power station. So what if we could change the frequency within the train? Let's quickly look at how to make AC from DC with this basic circuit, which has a DC supply from the battery. Here's an electron doing that. Now if we swap the switches that are closed, notice how it goes through the bulb the other way this time. The idea behind an inverter is if we do this fast enough, the bulb will think that it has an AC current. This setup has a few issues though. First of all, someone needs to actually press all the switches, but more seriously, AC current is in a sine wave pattern where the voltage gradually increases to a positive peak, then decreases to a negative peak. Basically what we said earlier, but on a graph now. With our circuit, however, we don't have a sine wave, we make a square wave. As the switch is either open or closed, this won't work very well with our motor. So what can we do? Alright, here's one wavelength. Let's split it up into a few different sections. Now by changing how long the switches are open for in each section, like this, we can change the average for each section. And this gets us pretty close to the sine wave, and that's almost everything now. We already made the electricity DC, and with some switches in a specific circuit layout, we can make it back into AC. Here's what that looks like. Okay, there's a lot going on here. First of all, we have three-phase power, basically three waves at once. So our rectifier is a little different, but it does the same thing. We have a capacitor right here to smooth out the current. And instead of normal switches, we have switches that can be electronically controlled and that can turn on and off very quickly, like very quickly. Behold the transistor. It's exactly what I just said it was. So they are over here, and finally we got a motor. Now this works the same way as the circuit that we saw earlier, except it's in 3-phase, but it's the same idea. We can make an AC current from switching the switches. Now that we understand how all this works, where's the noise coming from? That's why you clicked on this, right? Well, we're finally getting to that. So remember when we divided the wave into parts? That determines how often the switches switch or the carrier frequency, and that's what makes a noise. The thing is, older transistors can't switch as fast as we need them to, so what we did was we brought the carrier frequency back down, which is slightly less accurate, but we can keep on accelerating. What happens is every time that we change the carrier frequency back down, the noise goes back down too. This may happen several times as the train accelerates, and I think you can see where this goes. Some newer-ish trains have a rising carrier frequency as they accelerate, like the 465-0. Then on some trains, the carrier frequency oscillates, making the wee-wee-wee-wee sound. This is because the actual frequency that we want might damage some parts of the train, so if it's spread out, it gives you similar frequencies and switches between them. Anyway, that's it for today. I did have to oversimplify and miss out a few things, but yeah, see us next time. Bye.